Dear viewers of the Tom Photo channel, I recently analyzed the f-stops I've been using with each of my lenses. You can watch that video through the links below. Today I'm analyzing my zoom lenses to see what focal lengths I prefer. Do I mostly rely on the extreme focal lengths, or do I also make use of the middle ranges? I retrieved the focal length data from a lot of my own photos using a custom script, which I have also linked below in case you want to check it out. The script includes basic instructions on how to use it. Let's dive in and explore my focal length habits. The Fuji XC 15-45 is my wonderful compact travel lens. This is the histogram showing how much I've used each focal length. I've divided the entire focal range into 10 slices or ranges for easier understanding. I'm quite surprised by what I found. I used the two extremes of the lens, but not much in between. Does this mean I'd be just as happy with two prime lenses, a 16mm and a 45 or 50mm lens? It seems I have very little use for the focal lengths beyond 30mm. This finding also made me wonder if I feel limited by the 45mm. If I could extend it, would I? Let's see. I also have a Fuji XC 16-50, which is just 5mm longer. And indeed, I still push the lens to its limit. I like wide angles and I like longer focal lengths. There is a small peak around 26 to 29mm. And guess what? I have exactly the right lens for that. I have now experimentally proven it was a good idea for me to purchase the Fuji XF 27mm lens. Next up is the wonderful Fuji kit lens, the XF 18-55mm. This also shows that I favor the two extremes. But I noticed two small peaks in the middle. One corresponding to my 27mm lens and another to my 35mm prime lens. I often tell people that 35mm is one of my favorite focal lengths, and now I have scientific evidence to back it up. Since I tend to push my zoom lenses to their focal limits, I have reassured myself that my Fuji XF 56mm prime lens was a necessary purchase. However, my Fuji XF 23mm isn't turning out to be as popular for me. I don't feel that 23mm is really my focal length. I also own a Fuji XF 55-200mm lens. It goes to 200mm and of course I push it all the way to 200. It seems I'm a long focal length photographer. No matter how much reach I have, I can't get enough. I mainly use it for wildlife, but I also use it at 55mm. Below is a video where I demonstrate that this lens is exceptionally good at 55mm. I have a few data points for the Fuji XC 50-230mm lens as well. This lens shows a very similar pattern to my Fuji XF 55-200mm lens. Now, nothing much to add here. And finally, the Fujifilm X10. It doesn't have an interchangeable lens, and the focal length values are a bit unusual because it has a tiny sensor. You need to multiply the numbers by the crop factor to get more familiar values. I'm showing this camera because my usage pattern is different here. I tend to use both the wide angle and telephoto settings as well as the intermediate range. I think this is because the X10 was my first Fuji camera and I didn't have the luxury of swapping lenses back then. I had to make do with just one lens. So I hope I've shown you that it can be beneficial to analyze your zoom lens habits before purchasing prime lenses. That way you'll know which focal lengths you actually need. Of course, it's not that simple. Prime lenses offer more than just a specific focal length. If you have the option to use very low f-stops, that can change how and when you use a particular lens. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know in the comments which focal lengths you prefer to use. If you'd be so kind as to subscribe to my channel and leave a like, I'd really appreciate it. See you again soon. Goodbye.